Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
To follow that breaking news here in the Local 4 newsroom of the FBI thwarting a violent terrorist attack that would have happened here in Metro Detroit over this Halloween weekend. Dearborn police also confirming they are involved in this investigation. Our crews are currently at two different scenes right now. This is a neighborhood near Tireman and Warren. The actual street is Middle Point in Dearborn. We have a second scene that we can show you as well. This is near Ford and Schaefer. This is on Hoger, also in the city of Dearborn, but there is a third scene as well somewhere in the city of Inkster that we are aware of. I do want to point out, and this is critical, that the attack that was planned and thwarted by the FBI, we're not saying that these communities, these cities are the ones that were targeted. All we know right now is that this is where the current investigation is. So there's a good chance the homes that you're looking at live right now with FBI investigators and state police investigators and others, locals, working inside these homes, there's a strong possibility that those that have been arrested that are accused of planning this terrorist attack were either living inside of these homes or working inside of these homes. We don't know what the attack was actually planned for and what communities or cities or areas they were targeting. All we know is that that's where the investigation currently stands, as you've got multiple investigators in multiple different areas around the area, around Metro Detroit, I should say. I do want to show you a map of where these two specific areas are. Again, as you see, Middle Point Street and Hoger, which are, as you can see, about 2 miles apart, very close in proximity to each other in the area of Dearborn. I also know there are schools very close to those areas as well. So anybody who has children that go to schools in that area, please know that the Dearborn Police Department has said there is not a threat to anybody in the community, so you don't have to go pick up your children. Nobody is in danger at this point. The FBI, Michigan State Police, and local police do have it under control. We do want to get an update on everything that we know as of this moment right now. All of this started with the FBI director saying multiple suspects were arrested for plotting a violent attack over this Halloween weekend. The FBI Detroit office saying the FBI was in, actually still is, as you saw there, in both Dearborn and Inkster. Dearborn police saying they were made aware of FBI operations in the city earlier this morning, and sources say that Dearborn police are assisting in the FBI in this investigation as well. We also know Michigan State Police are there as well. Shantae Passmore is at one of the scenes right now on Hoger. She's only been there for about 5 or 10 minutes, so I know, Shantae, it's very difficult to get a grasp on what's happening when you're just rushing there, but at the very least, you can tell us what you see and who's there.
Right, so that's correct, Nick. So we've been here for maybe, 15, 20 minutes or so. And to give you a better idea, of course, we're right near Schaefer and Ford Roads. We're actually right next to Fortson High School. So just imagine this. This is a residential area. A lot of people starting their morning with noticing the presence of FBI agents here, as well as MSP. And so we have been seeing agents going in and out of this home right there on your screens. It's unclear at this moment what exactly they are looking for, what is the nature of the foiled terrorist attack, but there's been a lot of commotion at this particular home, neighbors looking on nearby. And I also have to point out here, we've got some neighbors who are, again, looking to see what is happening here, but nearly every single home on this block has at least one car here, telling you that there are families home right now as this is happening this Friday morning. And so we are waiting to learn more information, of course, but a quick recap of what we know. If you're just joining us again this morning, FBI agents, were told, spent the morning in Dearborn and Inkster conducting law enforcement activities. And this all came down. We also learned more from FBI Director Kash Patel, who wrote on X that multiple people were arrested for allegedly plotting a violent attack over the Halloween weekend. And if there's a silver lining, I can say there is no current threat to public safety. But again, so many questions. When we think about multiple people arrested, how many people exactly? What was the nature of this supposed terrorist attack? And then, of course, where was this intended to happen here? A lot of things we are waiting to learn to unpack right now from authorities. But we'll think things over to you, Nick.
the community. Normally, when there is a crime scene like that, there would be police tape blocks all around the area. The fact that you're right in front of that home tells me, I'm assuming there isn't any, which that makes me assume that the police don't think that there is any imminent threat right there as well.
And that's a great observation, Nick, because I was actually surprised to see how close we could walk up to where all of this was going down. And really, there's maybe maybe a handful of MSP cruisers nearby. But again, FBI agents coming in and out of there doesn't negate the seriousness of this investigation whatsoever. But I think it kind of speaks to the sentiment or the tone of the investigation as far as where we are based on how they got this credible tip, followed through, did the raids, and now we're here at this hour.
Right. Okay. Shantae, thank you so very much for that update. And I do want to just kind of highlight that point there, as Shantae was just mentioning that both the Dearborn Police Department and the FBI saying that there is no current threat to the community. So whatever this terrorist attack was that the FBI thwarted is now under control, and there is no threats to anybody in those communities. I do want to kind of give you another glance at some of the other scenes that we have here. As you saw there, Shantae is on Hoger, which is in the Ford and Schaefer area. We also have this other scene, which is on Middle Point in another area of Dearborn. I'm going to go back to my notes here to remember exactly where that is. That is at Tyerman and Warren in Dearborn. You can see this is a little more active in terms of federal agents that are outside of the home. We've seen that one agent there off on the left-hand side of your screen standing on the front lawn that has been kind of posted up there since we started bringing you this coverage, now talking to another FBI agent. But again, you can tell just by their demeanor that there is no active threat in that area as well. I also want to point out something we mentioned during when we broke in during the Today Show and also here streaming on Local 4 Plus, that just because, wow, that's a lot of investigators moving towards, and now I see a jacket that says JTIF. We're going to have to look to see what that acronym stands for in terms of federal investigators. Normally, you'd see FBI, ATF, things like that. We'll do a quick newsroom search here and see what JTIF stands for. But what I was mentioning, as they're looking in the garage there, looking for evidence or looking for whatever is part of this terrorist attack that was thwarted by the FBI. Again, we're not saying that the communities of Dearborn and Inkster were the targets of this plan. What we do know is that it appears that this is where the residents were, or the attackers, the people who've been arrested, were either living or working. Thank you to producer Mary who looked this up. That stands for the Joint Terrorism Task Force. So that's somebody else that's working there. You can see now it appears they are collecting evidence from the garage of this home, stacking boxes or trying to get to other areas of that garage as they move all those boxes out of the way. Again, this is all unfolding. You're watching live happening right now. There again is that acronym we were just talking about, the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We are going to continue monitoring this to see what is going to unfold here. And it started about an hour ago. As we continue to get more information here into the newsroom, we're going to bring it to you here on Local 4 Plus, streaming on Click on Detroit as well. But main thing, just to point out one more time, the FBI thwarting this attack and saying nobody in our community is in danger.